So, hello everyone. Welcome back to HackenProof Security Podcast, your destination for cybersecurity, bug bounty, and ethical hacking. Here with you, as usual, your host Alex, and today we got the real treat for you: masterminds behind Blockian team, guys who are shaking up the Web3 security scene for quite some time. And today we're gonna to uncover who they are, what they do for a living, not just except of bug bounties, and how is everything going. Hi guys, how are you?
Hey, how are you?
Hey Alex.
I'm pretty good, like sunny day today. If it's not a secret, where are you from? Like, where are you connected from to us today?
We're at Austria at Myrofen actually.
Okay,
Uh, so for us, sunny day is actually not that good because we want
there
the
is no
snow. We need
sun,
we want there to be the darker and the snowier the better.
but you have mountains, and you can ski at least since this is a winter. Do you ski or
Yeah,
or
yes,
you're a
Yeah,
yes.
board guys?
it's a ski town currently where we're at.
Yeah,
We're
amazing.
snowboarding.
Amazing. So let's start from very beginning, as we usually starting. Like, could you guys share your background, like how you started your security journey, how you came to Web3 security, and how is everything going right now?
So I think each of us has his own story.
Yeah, let's do one by one. I think
Yeah.
it's interesting to hear both of them.
So for me, penmanship. I think I've been doing like software security all my life. At first, it was like simple stuff, like tricks to make my life easier, and then some web hacking and stuff like that, CTFs, and later to more traditional software security. Um, And then a few years ago, like 3 years ago, I started going into Web3, and that's when Controls also joined me. So he can share his story, and then we'll share how we got into this one together.
Yeah, so that's me, Controls, and I think my story is a bit less straightforward because I didn't come from the security space initially, and I only started like doing stuff with computers in general, like at the age of about 22, and I started like from the very beginning. I started like as a full stack developer, and yeah, partnership is like a friend from school. So he was always in the security stuff and always like doing CTFs. And one day I came to him and he showed me a CTF, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is the best thing in the world! Like it's super fun. It's everything I like. It's like solving puzzles. It's so much better than like coding, in my opinion, at least. I think like everybody has their own cup of tea, but for me it was like eye-opening experience. And then I started to uh, try and find how can I shift into the security space. And I went. I worked like at a fintech company, and then I moved to work as a developer in a cybersecurity company. But I started like to get to know people and to understand more about the world, and started to learn more. And a bit by bit, I learned mostly by myself. And yeah, so 3 years ago, about 3 years ago, I think. So Partnership came to me and said like, "Hey, there's this cool stuff like Web3, Solidity smart contracts, and it's basically like CTFs, but we can make some maybe nice bucks
Money
out
of
of
it.
it." Yeah. So we went on a trip for like a month long trip, and we also like stopped at Lisbon actually.
Oh wow.
And during that trip, we found some pretty nice bugs and made like over 50K of bounties, and we were like, okay, that stuff is good. This is the good
It
stuff.
works.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it works. So we started to transition into the Web3 security, and in addition, uh, about like this is the first year that we went full time on the Web3.
1 month
Okay.
ago.
Yeah, like 2025 was the year we started doing Web3 full time, and until now we both had like other jobs. And I was, as I said before, I was like not from the security space, but I like moved to do some cyber stuff in a cyber company, and I started to research like Web2 stuff mostly, and the Web3 stuff was more like of a hobby, and now it's like our actual job. And that's our story in a nutshell.
Yeah, it wasn't
I
as
see.
bleak as it sounds though, because we read Sarik's blog post about his bounty from I think it was Optimism. You know the one I'm talking about?
Not sure. Can you
Yeah.
share
So
more info?
Sarik got I think it was a $2.1 million bounty from
Yeah.
yeah. So we read that blog post, and I sent it to controls, and I said like, wow, look at this thing. And then we procrastinated for 10 months until we started ourselves as well. So it took us like 10 months of debating.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah, but it was a real nice story about optimism, because I heard a lot of people started to think about transition from Web 2 security to Web 3, because this guy is a really famous security engineer in Web 2 arena who did most of jailbreaks for iPhones. Have you know
yeah,
about it? Yeah.
yeah,
So
he was the
so
original.
after, yeah, when he got his bounty, he shared that in his Twitter, and a lot of Web2 security engineers started thinking like, okay, this sphere is not a scam, and we can earn, and people can earn something there and try to research and do research or something like that.
I
So
think
one
we weren't convinced it wasn't a scam until we got our first payout. I
first
still
payout.
sometimes doubt it when I no, I'm kidding. But
Like even now I have sometimes that kind of
exactly,
thinking.
exactly.
So it's like, yeah, do we mature enough to not call ourselves as scammers or something? I don't know.
Every
Like,
month, is this month gonna be the end? Like,
yeah, like every month we kill in the crypto and start everything from the beginning. But and some companies really do like that. They just do a brand and start the new business. uh, but it is what it is. Like, still we have a bunch of good opportunities and amazing companies who are ready to pay for job for security services. Like, not the same in Web 2. Did you have any experience of Web 2 bug bounty hunting before?
So not bug bounties, because we both like worked for companies. So the
Yeah,
Web2 research we did was a part of like
main
the
job.
product of the company. So it was not
Hmm.
in a bug bounty sense. And that's also part of the reason that Web3 was appealing, because like you don't have conflict of interest inside of your company, because like your company is doing some research for like PR or something like that. And if you're doing bug bounties in the same space, it's kind of weird, because like if you found something, is it like goes through your company name or through yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah, and like in Web3, it was no brainer. Like it's something completely different. It isn't related to our jobs. So yeah, we haven't done like Web2 bug bounties, but we did a lot of Web2 research.
Hmm. Uh, so, but how have you met each other? Is it from the school, from or why
yeah,
you
school.
decided to work together? Like you were working in different companies before, yeah?
Yeah, we've
Before the
known each
research.
other since we were 12 from
Wow,
school.
wow,
Yeah,
amazing story.
and we only started working together like 3 years ago, which is
I see. On the research part.
yeah.
Yeah.
And and what was the decision behind like left the 9 5 job and start doing bug bounties and security research as main part of your life? Like not
Uh,
many people ready to do that, you know.
I can speak like mostly for myself. I think it would be different for opponentship, but for me it was like the freedom. It was the biggest contributor, because like when you're independent and like not working for someone else, you can choose your own hours, like work from whenever you want and like do things in your own way. And for me, it's like the best feeling like in the world, like you're completely free, truly free. And that was for me the main reason. And also like we saw that we had a lot of success when we did it part-time, so we thought it could translate into something bigger if we took it like more seriously, and maybe we can like take it to the next level and like do something much better. And that is for me like partnership. What was
And you, yeah, partnership.
Yeah, I
Share
think
your story.
a lot of it is like a learning experience for me, because my whole life I've worked in very demanding jobs, not just a 9 to 5, but really jobs that take over your whole time. And I wanted to experience the exact opposite. I wanted to experience not that this doesn't take a lot of time for myself, but only time I choose to put in. So whatever time I'm working is the time I wanted to work. And so I wanted to experience that. It's not that I know that this is the best thing for me to work or to live, but it's definitely something I want to experience and try. And also the same as Control said, professionally, something that we have only tasted the tip of the iceberg of. We only did it part-time, in the evenings sometimes, maybe the weekends. We don't know the potential of what we can do when we work together full time. And we wanted to experience that as well, to see what can be.
So you work in full time for 1 month already. Do you see any changes in your workflow or performance, or you just vacationing currently?
Yeah. So we did.
Like taking a rest after the full time job.
Yeah, we're definitely also vacationing. I think we have noticed that the pace is different. We definitely do more work. It's definitely fun. That I can say. It's very fun. Yeah. Do you have anything?
yeah, I think like the first month currently, for me at least, I think I snowboarded more than I worked. So
You deserve it.
yeah, but it was like that was the whole idea. Like I told myself I can like take my time, and my plan currently is like February would be the month that I will work more, hopefully, because the snowboard is also very appealing.
It's a short month. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I think we can already see like the results of taking it to the next level. We have like more audit requests, and we have like bug bounties that we already got paid for, and like a lot of stuff like on the way that we're cooking, and probably will be out there like in the following month or stuff. But yeah, I feel like the improvement. I think it's working good.
Okay, so yeah, just to finish our intro part, I have one more question, and we will move further into the what I'm doing right now, guys. But the last question will be like, when you were starting your journey in Web3, could you share your roadmap or education plan, or how you were trying to become better in the Web3 security? And yeah, like share your tips and notes how to become a successful in security research.
I
In
think each
three.
of us has something different to say. I'll say something that I really truly believe is the key. So for me, the way I started is I already had experience with security research. So I had the methodology of researching, and I only needed to apply it to a different
Scope.
scope, a different technology. Yeah, and I think a lot of people are in the same position. So the key thing that I took from my previous experience is to always try and answer every question that I have when I look into a project. And I started by looking into projects. For me, it was not, I didn't do a lot of material reading. I started with projects. So every project that I looked at, I asked myself everything that I didn't understand, and I wrote it down. And I didn't move on until I answered every single question, and every question evolved into more questions. And only after I answered every question that I had, then I moved on. And writing it down is important because that way I could really be sure that I
Understand it, yeah.
understand what I'm saying, and I'm not just kidding myself, thinking that I have it. And I understand, I can move on. So that was what I did, and I still do it. When I research a project right now, it's still the way I work. I write down everything, every single question that I have, and I don't move on until I answer every one of them.
I see. It's actually a really good practice, even for self-learning. If you don't understand anything, just note it and try to research or find the missing pieces. To understand it better. Uh, what is a story of humanship? Like how you were
Yes.
starting?
So that was me. That was penmanship.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. You aren't sharing your secrets. You can't tell.
It's okay. It's like, what is the story of Control Z? Control.
Yeah, so I think like it's kind of interesting because like me and partnership we have like opposite approaches. Like he is project driven. Like first of all, let's look at the code of the project and then start understanding. And I'm like the other way around. I like learning stuff first and like becoming like an expert in a certain field and then like
Mhm.
approaching other stuff. So for me, I think I started. I think like a good approach to learning something new and like becoming proficient in it. It's like thinking from an eye. Let's say I want to be a developer in that space.
Mhm.
So Solidity is like the best example. Like I watched all the Patrick C Alpha like
Collins videos. Yeah.
yeah all of his like videos and like I learned Solidity like from the ground up. And when I felt like I'm at the level of a Solidity developer, I started looking at like Solidity projects and I felt like really comfortable
Mhm.
researching them because I knew the surface, I knew the quirks of the language and the stuff like that. So this is like still my approach to stuff. When I approach like a new project, I try to read the documentation and understand like what they're trying to do, what they're trying to say, and like what is the core idea. And
Mhm.
only after I feel like I understand the concepts, the ideas, the project like motivation, then I go to the code and I see like how they make it work, like how they make it tick, and what and it also like gives me an understanding of like potential pitfalls.
Yeah.
Uh,
Like yeah.
yeah, like maybe we'll talk about it like later. We had like a bug bounty in layer 0, if
Mhm.
you saw the blog post, and
Yes. 25K of US
yeah,
dollars.
yeah, and that was like a bug bounty that came like from looking at the project and thinking if I were developing it, like what kind of mistakes would I potentially make, and tested them out and like found something pretty quickly. So it was that kind of approach for me.
Yeah, like think as a developer to understand which mistakes you could make. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Imagine yourself like in the shoes of the developer. Try to be the developer, and like from then you can go forward. But I think like it's mostly shows that like there is no perfect approach to research. Like everybody has their own way of learning and their own way of researching, and like other ways and other approaches can yield results. Like nonetheless.
Mhm. But do you agree that is it is it necessary to have a developer experience to be successful in security research, in your
No, I
opinion?
don't think it's necessary. I think like it what works for me individually, but
Hmm.
like someone else might have their own approach, and it might work for them even better than it works for me. Like the end issue is like everybody should find like the approach that works best for them because everybody is like different, and copying others' approach won't necessarily work for you.
Definitely, 100%. I personally know the guy who is really successful bounty hunter, but he never deployed any Solidity contract.
Yeah.
Like any, even proof of concepts. No, no, never. So that's funny. Okay, how is your day looks like right now? Like you do half a day bug bounties, half a day private audits, and uh, extra 10 hours for security research. I don't know. Share your average day
Um,
experience.
So we're kind of building it right now because we had our day to day when we had our full-time jobs in addition to our bounties. Now we're trying to build our new methods, I guess, or our new schedule. Yeah. So currently we leave time for bug bounties that are open to whatever project we find interesting. That way we get to learn new technologies if we want to. That way we can look at stuff that we have already looked at but have evolved or changed. Like maybe we have a deep understanding of something and recently they deployed something new. And so we try to leave time for that, at least a couple of hours a week. We can't go a week without looking at random stuff. And then the rest of the time we fill it with either with audits or with maybe competitions, stuff that are more certain, where you know you get something in return, even if the potential of reward is lower, the certainty is higher. So maybe we divide it between the two of us, and then one of us takes more risks, and the other can take stuff that are less risky, like audits or competitions, and vice versa. And so that's the general idea, and the percentages are still evolving because we have only been doing it full time for a month, so we haven't really settled on something that we feel the most comfortable with. Well, I guess that with time we'll find how much of our time we want to put into something that is certain, like audits and competitions. How much risk do we want to take on the unknown? Yeah.
What do you think about Web3 security market in general? What is better? Like, I mean, like we have bug bounties, yeah, competitions right now, and since like the focus of most security researchers shift to competitions mostly, because at least if you will find something, you will be paid for that, yeah. Because we heard a lot of stories about never paid bounties, unfortunately.
We
Yeah.
have some as well.
I will ask about them later. But yeah, and it seems like the focus is shifting to competitions. And what do you think about it? You also mentioned like that competitions are more comfortable way to work in Web3, but still doing bug bounties as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think we, or at least I, controls. I started like a competition hater when I initially like got to the space. I was like only bug bounties. Competition seems like the concept seemed weird to me, and I like didn't like it as well as much. But after like sometimes, as you said, like bug bounties are less certain. Like you can get some that are not even getting paid. The project like runs away, or you can like research something and not find anything. That's also a possibility. No one
Yeah.
guarantees anything. And in competitions, you have like a more guaranteed way to earn something. So I feel like we're also starting like to shift to include competitions and audits as well in our repertoire and like in the time that we spend. Uh, I don't think this is necessarily like bad because audit competition like supply it's a win-win for all participants. Like the company gets a pretty good audits out of it. Like lots of
Yeah.
people are looking at their code, and the security researchers are getting like confirmed pay and like something that is more guaranteed. But also, it's important not to leave bug bounties out and like forget about bug bounties. Um, Although, like if you ask me, I think if all of the people are going to competition, that's good for us because there are less people hunting for bugs on live projects, and we can find more things. So yeah, go competitions.
Yeah,
I
but
think
if the competitions will be really good, there will be not much sense in bounties itself. But still, yeah, people do
yeah,
mistakes and they miss something. And of course, companies like to push updates without code review to
Yes.
productions sometimes. So you will still have some kind of job there.
Yeah.
yeah. I
Yes.
think
There's lots of competitions, but there are very little fixed reviews.
Yeah.
yeah, you guys. So I think you mentioned the risk reward trade off, right, of the like bounties, competitions, and audits. But another thing that I think is interesting is like the experience itself. When there's something special when you perform an audit that the incentives are aligned, both yours and the project, and so you can have an open communication, and you shouldn't be afraid of how you phrase what you're saying and whether they're going to downplay it or not, and how's the project going to respond. So that's a way better experience overall for the project and for the hunter, as opposed to even competitions. Some of them depends on the incentives, but competitions and bug bounties where the incentives aren't aligned. It's not like both of us want this project to be the most secure. I want to get paid for my work, and they don't want to pay and want to fix the bug. So that's another aspect of it, not just the risk reward, but also the experience.
Yeah, definitely. Like in bug bounties, companies like to be radio silent until you discover a critical issue, or
Yeah.
even be radio silent after you discover the critical issue.
Yeah. Exactly.
uh, yeah, and audits is competitions are a good battleground to show yourself as a auditor. Yeah, I believe that many solo auditors start receiving audit request after they performed well during the competition. Do you see that connection as well
Yeah.
for your
I
open team?
think.
Yeah, definitely. I think also one thing, two things that happened to us were two audits that came from a bug bounty as well. Like we
Oh wow.
found the bug in a project, we reported it to them. Then we also did a fixed review in one of the cases, and they were like, "Oh, we have another code that we want to release. Maybe let's collaborate. Let's do something." Um, so I think with competitions, it's the same thing, just more public, maybe because everyone can see the leaderboard, and it's not just you and the project and how you did with them. So definitely, every way you have to promote yourself and show your skills
I
is
see.
best. You should.
Okay, let's talk a bit more about bounties. Uh, how you choosing the new target to bug hunt on?
Wow, that's
How to choose the right company,
That's
and
the
how
question.
much time?
that's the
Yeah,
most important part of the work process. Like of getting a bounty, the most important part is choosing the right project
yeah,
because that's the odds of getting paid, the odds of finding something. That everything is on that single point of single decision. Yeah. So I think the few things we take in mind when we decide on a project, um, most of them align with finding a bug. So the complexity of the project, the more complex it is, the higher chances we have finding a bug. The whether it is actively developed right now,
yeah.
changes are still happening, mistakes can happen, something would be missed by the developers, and obviously the bounty size as well. And another thing that isn't related directly to the odds of finding something or getting paid is whether it's related to something that we want to learn. For
Mhm.
example, we wanted to get into
ZK, for example.
yeah, zero knowledge. That's a good one. We wanted to get into ZK, and we did it through projects and through researching. And now I think we have very good understanding of zero knowledge, and we I think that's one of our strong suits, like bugs in ZK circuits and stuff like that. And that came from a project that we wanted to research to learn from them. It was actually a competition that wasn't the highest paying one. It was very low paying, and we did it because we knew we would learn something new. So
Mhm.
I think that's another aspect that is important. But maybe the most important thing would be choosing a project that you think you'd stick with until you fully understand it. Like if it's something that it's too complex for you and you'll start and then it's too much for me and I think I'll move on, then why did you even start? And if it's something that is not interesting to you and you think that it's I don't know, you don't like NFTs, so don't look into projects that are NFTs. And if it's something that you will dive deep into and answer every question you have and fully understand the project better than the developer, then it's worth pursuing.
Yeah, definitely. And if you think that this is too complicated for you to learn, then probably most of the people think in the same way, And now you have a unfair advantage if you will finish your
Yeah, that's also true.
education part.
Maybe you should take risks.
Yeah, so that's like, I think it's a kind of a graph, like how complicated it is versus like, I don't think like there is something that's too complicated to learn. Like eventually anyone can learn anything, but like it's the effort versus the return. Like if you think it would be like crazy effort to learn something, and like the bounty is the max bounty is like 1000k, like it's something not very attractive, so it's not worth like diving into it.
Yeah.
So it's more of like the effort versus the potential return.
Do you have preferred code bases? Do you mostly focus it on Solidity or anything like can work? Rust, Go, Java?
So I think part of what I said earlier was from our experience with getting into stuff like that. We started with only Solidity, but then we said to ourselves, why limit ourselves? And now we do Rust, we do JavaScript, we do Go, we do Solidity, we do circuits.
Anything that like looks in, we're not limiting ourselves, like, because it's exactly like you said, if something seems hard, like less people will look at it, so it's worth taking the effort to learn like stuff that aren't as popular, because Solidity everybody knows today, but not everybody is like an expert on the blockchain themselves, like in the low level stuff.
Yeah.
So
General understanding what's going on behind.
yeah, exactly. So we're like taking everything.
I see. But do you have preferred code bases like Uniswap V2 forks, compound forks, or
Preferences. My current preference is anything zero knowledge related circuits. I like the
uh-huh.
What about you?
I don't think I have a current preference, to be honest.
Yeah.
I like to research for bugs. That's it.
Yeah. Just give me something interesting. I like. I do like have a limitation for myself. That like if the project isn't complex enough, so like there's also a point that if it's not complex enough, I'm like, it's boring to me, and I don't want to research it. Like even if there's like a good potential, so just interesting stuff and like novel stuff. It's my preference. I like a new project and like not forks of stuff.
Yeah. In terms of bug bounties, how much time you're ready to invest until you pass it and go to the next project for research?
I think my measurement isn't time. It's how I feel about the project, whether I feel like I understand it, or whether I don't. And I think that's what I do. And if it takes a lot of time, then it's not only me. It's going to take a lot of time to anyone. So it doesn't matter that it takes a lot of time. It's probably just more complex. So I think it's more the feeling than the time.
Yeah, for me it's exactly the same. Like I don't measure it in time. I just go on the project and research it, and when I feel like I understand it good enough and I don't think I found something interesting or there will be anything interesting, or the opposite, like if I feel like it's too complex for the return that is possible from this project, so like those could make me like search for something new to look at.
I was thinking like we have that trend of sharing write-ups when you found something. Yeah, we're sharing like with community, with people. Okay, like I discovered the higher critical issue in that project, and everyone like that kind of post because mostly you're sharing like, okay, I earned that amount of money from here. Yeah, but why people do not publish posts like I spent 3 months researching project X and found nothing. this code base is secure, at my opinion. I think it also makes sense to do a post like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe we should next time we don't find anything.
our next post is going to be about stuff we didn't find.
Okay, yeah, I would really like to read about it, because you also promote the project itself, the code base, and maybe other people will check it out after you, and and will share their own insights or so. That's also a good way to incentivize bug bounties in general.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's like, but people like to share success stories.
Of course.
People, it includes us clearly, but yeah.
No, but maybe that's a good motivation for other people. I think we saw a post on Twitter where someone shared the project that they're currently researching, and that gave us a lot of motivation to research it as well and try and find a bug before them.
Yeah,
so maybe that would be helpful for other people.
Yeah, like this is some kind of competition but from another side.
Yeah. Although I think Lonely Sloth once wrote a post about that he sometimes a couple of months he can find nothing, and then one day can find lots of stuff, and he wrote about this exact issue
yeah,
not-
the main point was sharing a story that sometimes you can earn nothing if you focus it on bug bounties. Yeah, because
Yeah.
we had the same talk with Riptide last time, that that somebody mentioned for 3 or even more months he didn't find anything, and was sitting without bounties. But yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, my idea was sharing which exact project you checked.
Sometimes it's hard to share the project where you did find something because projects don't like it. But
Yeah.
what are you going to say about this one? I'm only complimenting.
Yeah, I don't think that we need a confirmation to
Yeah.
write posts like that. Their code base is secure enough. And they're like, we do not agree with your opinion. Delete this, please. Okay. By the way, what is your favorite bounty so far? Any vulnerability which you discovered and really proud of it?
Ooh, I think for each of us is something different.
Okay.
For me,
I have one. The favorite bug we have was found by controls, not by me.
Mm-hmm.
It was a cache poisoning bug. I don't think we can share it because the project they didn't fix it. I'm not sure why. It is an issue, but it was like it was a Web2 type bug.
Yeah. Web cache
like
poisoning. Yeah, I wanted to ask. It's a web application issue.
Yeah, they
Which can
really
crash the app itself. Yeah.
so they really incorporated ideas from traditional software into their smart contracts, and they made classical mistakes that people make in traditional software development in their contract, and it was a very interesting bug, so I liked it. That was the favorite one, but I think they didn't fix it, so I think that's why we didn't make a blog post.
So it was a cache poisoning in terms of smart contracts or on the
yeah,
web?
Yeah.
there was this.
Interesting. Okay, I will wait for a write-up.
Yeah, well, put it down in my to-do list.
Yeah, I have lots of write-up that we need to do, but we're not getting to it because we're lazy.
But we really should.
It takes some time.
Yeah, I think it was a really interesting bug as well. It was a smart contract and cache poisoning, but another bug that I'm really proud of and I really liked. We had a bug at Beanstalk actually, and they published all their bugs publicly, so I don't think it's a problem to see it. We found 2 bugs at Beanstalk last year, I think. One of them we got paid $50K, and it was chaining 5 different bugs to steal rewards.
Oh,
and
wow.
Each one of the 5 bugs were shitty bug that gave you almost nothing, but chaining them all together in the right way got you to something much more interesting. So it was very fun to work on. a nice bug to find, because like it's also felt a bit like traditional security, because a lot of the bugs like in the Web3 space is like, oh, you did not put a reentrancy, so you got hacked.
Yeah, you
But
lost.
this was like no, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different primitives that together chain to something bigger. So it was something nice.
Yeah, that's why I really like protocol level vulnerabilities. You know, not just the Solidity code base based, but on the like low level issues on the blockchain node, for example, or something like that. By the way, Beanstalk is a real nice bug bounty program to hunt. They probably one of the most paid bug bounty programs so far.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
they did a lot of payments. Yeah, like
the also like the experience working like giving them the report and everything like that was very good. Like I feel they're one of the protocols that are taking security the most seriously, like in the space, which is also understandable. But um, a big shout out to Beanstalk for being a very
Committed.
very committed protocol to work with, and very fun to work with. The response time and everything was amazing. So it was also fun from that perspective.
how it looks like. Have you do you communicate inside of the platform in the comment section, or you prefer to move out and use messengers or something like that when you really need to clarify something?
No, we communicate like inside the platform in the comments over there.
Yeah, we try to be if we need to clarify or to have some discussion. We have offered in the past
Hmm.
to have like a call or something to discuss the technical specifics when it seemed like the other side wasn't understanding, but they never took it up. Yeah. And
Yeah.
so I think most of the time when we reach some sort of disagreement or we can't seem to get an understanding, we explicitly ask what exactly is the POC that would prove it enough for you, and then they state it, and then we create the exact POC they asked for, and then there's nothing else to discuss. I think that's
I see. Yeah, like not all companies like to communicate directly with researchers.
yeah.
From my experience, I even saw the companies which prefer to not talk to researchers at all, to not be ghosted. You know, it is also a big problem right now, because some companies really scared of security researchers, because if you will answer wrong or something like that, you will be ghosted in Twitter, and it can bring bad experience or bad uh, marketing for the
I
company
didn't know
itself.
they felt like that.
Yeah, but they are like
Wow.
some of them really feel like that. That's why they're trying to not communicate directly, asking for trash team to manage all communication, and like be a intermediary between two parties to not take responsibility for answers for on themselves. Could you share the saddest story from your bug bounty experience? The company which never who
Yeah.
never paid for you or something.
So we have one. I think we have a few. I don't remember all of them. I try to remember the good stuff and not the bad stuff. That's an approach in life. No, I'm kidding. And also, I don't think we're big fans of publicly shaming. But we had one experience recently, very recently, like the past month, where we found a bug in. There were two companies involved. One was developing the code for another company. They had a security issue in the code they developed. It had severe security implications, and so we contacted both of the companies, like the one that developed the code and the one that was the client, and
Mhm.
we told them that we have a security issue that we believe affects them, and asked them how they want to proceed. If they want us to share it to them by email, if they want to have a call, and whether or not they offer bounty payments. I think even if they have said no, then we would have shared the details still, because there's no reason to sit on a bug that isn't going to help us anyways and only puts people at risk. So we asked them that. They said they do offer bounties sometimes, depends on the situation, and they asked for more details. We explained the bug to them. Then they fixed it and stopped answering completely,
Wow.
just off the grid.
How big was the stake on the risk?
So I think the current state of the project made it so that the mistake is like forgivable, because I think it was in a state where not everyone can exploit it, only certain actors. So I think the timeline of the development of the project, it was supposed to become so that everyone can interact with that endpoint, and then everyone could have exploited it. It was a security boundary. It wasn't just an active security boundary yet. So it's a good thing they fixed it now. It's sad that they disappeared. Even if they have answered and said something like why they don't think it deserves bounty or whatever, then that would have been different than just stopping to answer and fixing the bug.
Yeah, it's sad enough to to be mentioned. Yeah, but is it a big company, by the way? You don't need to share the names if you don't want, but just curious.
I don't think it's that big. It is big when you look at the money they've raised in rounds, but I don't think it's that known. Like, we have a lot of companies in the ecosystem right now, right? There are many projects.
I see. Who's taking communication about bounties from two of you? Like, or it's all together?
It depends on the mood.
Yeah, it depends on like the bug and who
has energy for it at the
yeah.
moment. Yeah, I think we both do everything. Like, that really depends on the specific day.
Yeah.
Who is the bad cop and who is the good cop? Like, you need to have the both in terms of unfair client decisions. You know.
You're the bad cop.
I was going
Controls
to say,
is the bad cop.
yeah, I think I'm the bad cop, and like partnership is like the good cop. Like, I'm always whispering in his ear, like every time someone's like does something shitty to us. Like, we had already in the past the story that partnership told like you like from the last month, but we had like a year ago some bug that we told that we disclosed, and also we did not get paid, and like the project ran away. And I'm always like, no, we should like write about it and like get into them, and like we don't
They
need
should
to
pay us for everything, like every second spent on them.
yeah. We and partnership was like, no, let's take the high road, like let's be chill, let's write to them, and when the project is not understanding something, I'm like, why I'm not understanding? And he's like, let's chill, let's take a second and ask them what POC they want.
And eventually I'll break. In this case, controls, like a month ago, we already said, no, they're not gonna pay. And I was like, no, maybe they're processing stuff. Maybe we'll remind them in a week. It's okay. Maybe. No, they're not going to pay. I was like, no, maybe they will.
So definitely I'm the bad cop and he's the good cop. And also I'm the bad person, he's a good person.
This is a good fit, you know, because you can cover more together. And how it looks like to work in a pair during the security research? Like, are you auditing different part of the code base, or do you do audit on the same part and comparing the results, or how it looks like?
When we don't audit the same thing, it's because, like I mentioned before, we want to earn something from it. Whether it's because the code base is big and we don't think we managed to cover everything, both of us, or maybe it's we want one of us to take risks and the other to do something more certain. But if we don't have something like that forces us to split, then we prefer to work on the same thing, because we have different approaches. We can ask different questions. We can come from controls come from the developer side and tries to think of stuff there. I come straight from the code, so I don't know the project sometimes when I look at the code. I only know the code that I have seen, and not what it was meant to do. So I may ask, why did they do that? And Controls knows the project itself, because he reads all the documentation and he knows everything. So he might be able to answer my question, and that we can do a back and forth and improve each other.
I see. Do you have something to add?
Um,
Oh, okay.
sorry, we got back to you. Actually, I wanted like to give an example.
Yeah.
A few months ago, there was like the fuel competition on Immunify, and we worked on it like together, and like exactly as partnership said, like everybody, each one like we bounced ideas off each other and like talked about everything. And I think we had like pretty good results in the competition overall, like because of the approach together and like working on it together and stuff like that.
And how you dealing with rewards? You splitting it half half, or it depends who is the who discovered the issue getting bigger
But
part of
with
it.
what? How do we deal with what? Sorry.
With bounties payouts,
The payouts. No, we split
like
it by half.
wow, that's interesting. Do you? But it's not a company, yeah. It's just a team of you. I mean, like you
Uh,
don't have legal entity
we are
for
in the.
that kind of business.
Uh,
Yeah, sorry. So we do have a legal entity because
Oh,
for the audits that we do, and to make everything clean and pay all the right taxes and to
mm-hmm.
not make any mistake.
I see.
Um, yeah, so we do have it. And sorry, I interrupted you in the middle. I was out of focus.
Me? No.
No, I
It was.
interrupted you before. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Never mind.
Yeah.
So, okay, if you would start into security research right now, especially in Web3, what would you recommend to yourself? Like learn Solidity or choose another technology? Where is the most demand right now?
I think like it's not necessarily a question of where is the most demand. Like what is a better question is like what is the best entry point.
Hmm.
So I think like um, although the market is like overflooded with people that know Solidity and Solidity auditors, I think it's like a very good place to start because like this is the most popular language right now, and like learning Solidity is like the basics, and it also like gives you a sense of confidence because you know something and you can start from it. You can start going from it and like learning other stuff. So trying right away to jump into the like the deep water and like going, oh, I will understand how blockchains work like from zero and research that stuff. It would be like super tough in my opinion and like a very hard way to get into the ecosystem. So I think like still learning Solidity is like a very solid, a very good entry point, and it's still like the best advice that I would give at least. Like learn Solidity, start from there, and you will gain confidence once you know something, and you will be able to like to hop to other stuff once you have that first block you started with.
Yeah, and since the community is that big, you can always ask the question and get the fast answer. Uh,
Exactly.
when choosing the complex technology.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
like sometimes even devs don't know what is going on there. I had okay, I can't share the report itself, but I remember that we had a protocol level security issue, and from the whole company's team, the just one dev understand what is going on there because he was responsible for developing of that bug. Like 40 people in a team and no one have any idea how to fix it or what actually happened.
Wow.
so so yeah,
We
sometimes
experienced
when the company do not reply fastly for you, that's because they are looking who built that piece of the
who,
code.
Who wrote that?
who understood the code.
Yeah, who can validate it.
Yeah, we had some experiences like that when we like reported stuff and only one person knew how to deal with it.
I had a conversation with Parity. CISO Parity is a developer company of Polkadot. and he mentioned it like once a long time ago they got a security issue, bug bounty submission on their platform from the creator of Rust language, who
Ooh.
was pointing like, here is an issue and I have no idea how to fix it, but you have a huge stake under risk. Like they are using Rust, and he discovered that this issue in Rust itself can lead to the big problems of the protocol, but he have no idea how to fix it even. So
Wow.
just submitted it. So yeah, sometimes things like that happening, especially in complex code bases. So yeah.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's something that's going to happen more as the ecosystem tends to rely on more complex technologies. Like a lot of chains right now use WASM as well,
Yeah.
assembly, which is also a complex technology. And maybe when the project itself is built on JavaScript, and God knows JavaScript has a lot of bugs. And so when we rely on technology that is very complex for other reasons and not for the Web3 reasons, then we might also introduce security issues that we shouldn't have.
Okay, I think that we are ready to sum up everything. Do you have something to share with our community so far? Because we are out of questions, and yeah,
Ooh.
W- w-
Uh,
w- yeah. Any advices or inspiration notes?
Inspiration and advices. Um, I think like if you're a security researcher or like studying security researcher, like don't give up. Keep trying. Like this that can seem tough and can seem like frustrating, but once you find those bugs and find those get those payouts, this is like the best feeling in the world, and this is worth it. And if you're just a developer, so like keep putting bugs in your code. We like it.
We are on looking. Yeah, we are looking. We are waiting for your
Exactly.
mistakes.
Yes. Yes.
uh, okay. Uh, it was
Thank you so much.
controls or who?
Yes.
I
Yes.
have
Yeah.
It
no
was
idea.
me
Uh,
controlling.
yeah, humanship. Any
Partnership.
thoughts? Poundship. Poundmanship.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I think one practical thing to add is that if you ever feel stuck, maybe when researching a project, maybe when trying to answer a question, maybe when not finding any bugs, just pick something small that you can learn and read about it. Just learn about it. It doesn't have to be directly related to what you're doing right now, but something that you don't know and you can learn. And I think that can help open the mind and help you go back to things that you didn't expect. I think that's one practical thing.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. And it was a Blockian team. You was listening HackenProof Security Podcast. Thank you, guys, for being with us today. Thanks for accepting the invitation. And if you enjoyed that episode, press like and subscribe for our channel. We trying to deliver our best from here. And see you in next episodes. Bye bye.